Hi, it's Becca. Today I'm going to talk about the application of communication accommodation theory to virtual communities. And firstly, we'll talk about the variables that they present. They want to find the main components of communication accommodation theory that best describe the multicultural interaction. They want to understand how individuals create their identities and then differentiate themselves when they join an online multicultural community. And lastly, they want to reach the identity level that they want to understand that when they reach their identity level, how they choose their attitude towards multicultural online communities. And the whole purpose of this research is to talk about how people create their own identities and attitudes towards online communities using the communication accommodation theory to explain how people accommodate to these online communities. The method that they use to do this is obviously they interpret it through communication accommodation theory because it's flexible and then rigorous. So that gives them a little bit of leeway to explain something that's kind of new to the communication theory. They then use the categorical and evaluation analysis to describe their data. So they have three types of units for measurement, which is the ID, whatever online ID they choose to identify themselves with. So like their username, it can be their name, it can be what they like or something like that. They have an avatar, which is a picture. It can be a picture of themselves or a picture of something that they're passionate about, like the UK flag or something. And then lastly, the location that the user declares. So after they go through those, they then put these people that are the participants in this, they put them in 5 different categories. The first category is someone who decides that they want to remain anonymous, so they don't give away their location at all. The second would be the participant who declares only their European identity, so they only give away what country they're from in Europe. And the third would be participants who express their local identity. And so that would be like the town they're from or the county. I'm not really sure how they divide it up, but it would be something like that, like a town. The fourth one would be just giving away their global identity, and the fifth one would be both. Like I'm from Liverpool, England, something like that. And England is part of Europe. And then after they do that, it gives them a couple results. They come to the conclusion that participants share identities, and that's how they converge or diverge from the particular topic. So in this case, it's talking about debating Europe. They also conclude that while the original purpose of this research was to lay some groundwork for a much larger research, they believe that they may be responsible for discovering the boundless online community, or giving way to some explanation for how people interact. The main components of communication accommodation theory that best describe the multicultural communities is convergence and divergence. So people can choose how much or how little of themselves that they want to share. So the more they share, the more they're converging into this community online. The less they share, the more they're staying more close to themselves, not really giving a lot of personal information away, but they still want to be part of this online community, which is fine. So when participants join the online community, they share a bond between their local and global community. The local community is how they stay unique, or how they diverge themselves from the global community. The global community is something that's more like a convergence. Everyone shares it, and they all have this want to talk about the future of Europe, and obviously they want to talk about all the good things that can happen after everything else. And when they finally reach their identity level towards these attitudes, it's really just dependent on the topic that's at hand. So obviously, if you live in Europe, you want Europe to do good. This is something that you want. You live there. You don't want to have to move away or anything like that. And if it's something that they could care less about, it's not something they're going to be as passionate about. So, in conclusion, this research is really important for a couple of reasons. It gives way to how we really communicate nowadays, because a lot of our communication is online. This class is online, and in short, it's really just the beginning to understanding the boundless community that the internet's offering us. So, while we have global and local identities, we also have an online identity, and that's always ever changing.